If you want the maximum number of people to be able to access whatever is going on in your Zoom room, one way you can do this is to set up a live stream. There are fantastic videos on the internet showing you how to set up a live stream on Zoom. I've got a version here where I'm just going to show you through step by step what I did in order to set up a live stream. First of all, within the Zoom, you must check your meeting settings. It's ever so important this is done in advance of launching the meeting. So when you set up your meeting, go down to settings, and then within that you've got a whole load of things which go down and down. Towards the bottom is something which says in meeting advanced. So you scroll down in meeting advanced, and then here you've got this section, allow live streaming meetings. So there, I've just done this for all of my meetings. The default is that I could stream them anywhere, and by doing that I don't have to think about it before I launch a meeting. It may be that I'm not going to live stream. I don't live stream all my meetings, but at least having it there as a default is helpful. But it is important you do that before you start your meeting. It has to be enabled. So your general settings for all your meetings have been set up as being allowing for a live stream if you want to. But then what you have to do is for each individual meeting, set up the stream. So here's an example where I've scheduled the meeting already. I've done it, and I save it. It's only after it's been saved that you then scroll down, and then right at the bottom you have this little option here. You've got a poll and you've got live streaming. Click on live streaming. When you click on live streaming, this opens up, and it's telling you that you actually can choose the service on which to live stream your meeting once you're there. So what we're going to do is we're going to configure the live stream settings. So we've clicked on, first of all, live, and then we click on live stream settings. This box then opens up, and it's asking for 3 bits of information to configure the live stream. It wants the stream URL, it wants the stream key, and it wants the live streaming page URL. Which when I saw for the first time I thought, what on earth is that? But it is actually very straightforward to do. So we don't know that yet, so what we're going to do is we're going to go and find it. Where did we get it from? Well, I decided that I'm going to get it from YouTube. There are other ways that you can set live stream. You can do it into Facebook, but I've decided to go to YouTube. So here I am in my YouTube account, and at the top of my account I hover over that video symbol and I press create. Something I should have said earlier is that you can't do live stream unless you've got a certain number of people subscribing to your channel. I think it's 100. So you hover over your video symbol to select create, and then this drops down. You have either that you can upload a video that you've already done, or you can go live. And I think this is the thing which I found quite difficult to find originally. There may be other ways into it, but this is one of it then. So go there and then go on to go live. Then you get this black setting. There are different, I think this is a new version. Didn't used to have this black background. And the first thing that pops up without me doing anything is it's suggesting, do you want to use a new stream with your last used settings? And for me, I don't do that because every single meeting which is live streamed, I want it to be on its own particular unlisted channel. So I am going to always just click dismiss. Then this pops up asking you to complete the new stream information. So you're going to put your title, obviously there. I'm calling it originally YouTube Zoom test. Throughout this demonstration, by the way, it keeps changing its name because I kept doing different versions. And then what about who can attend? If you really don't mind everybody just seeing it straight away, then obviously you would go for public, because the event that I'm going to be using for it is one where people have to register in advance. I'm making it unlisted. That way I can choose who has the address so that they can get there. And obviously I'm not doing it private because I want other people to see it. Oh, but however, if you are trying this out, if you're just testing this for the first time, can I recommend you go private? Because otherwise, if you forget to uncheck a setting which says everybody sees it and send it to your feed, everybody can see you mucking around and making a bit of a fool of yourself as you're trying it out. So I would recommend private if you're now just doing it for yourself, unlisted if you're doing it for real. So when you've chosen unlisted, then you would get this. Do you want to schedule it for later? And yes, I do. I want to schedule it for, and I'll put the date that it is I'm going to do it on. And I've got a feeling that this is something that cannot be edited later. I've tried to edit it and I couldn't manage it. I looked on other people asking the same question. So try and get this right. Now, even though you've put a date and a time, it doesn't really matter, because you can manually start it or stop it. Then you can upload the custom thumbnail. I recommend that because, let's do it first of all. So I've gone in and I've decided I want to put a picture of the cats. I open that. So there they are. The reason you do that is that this address that it will create, before it actually goes live, it'll be sitting there waiting. So it means that anybody going along will at least know, yes, I'm in the right place. I can see that this is a video which is going to be about cats or whatever it is. Okay. And next thing, which I would always recommend, always say, no, it's not made for kids. The reason for that is that if you say it's made for kids, there are restrictions on it. So, for example, it can't be added to anyone's playlist. So say it's not made for kids, even if it is something which is for children to watch. For example, my teenagers, I would say no, it's not made for kids, because I'm happy for other people to look at it and add it to a playlist. And so you've got it all set up. You've given it a name. I've said it's unlisted. It's education. It's going to be for later. I've got my picture ready. I've said it's not made for kids. So now I can click and it creates the stream. And this is what appears. Because this isn't a video, because it's just a plain PowerPoint, you can't see. But in fact, that would be whizzing round. There's something there, whizzing. Okay. And later on I'll come back to that, because that is a quick way of doing what I'm about to show you. But here's the page with the information which is either on this page or can be accessed from this page. Will give you that information you need for those three bits of the three little things that we have to fill in on the Zoom. Before we start looking at that though, let's just look at this right hand side. And you can decide whether you want to auto start and auto stop. So, for example, if I'm starting a meeting in Zoom, if I have one click from Zoom control, it can start. So enabling auto start automatically starts the stream when you start sending data. So that's what I tend to do. I'm happy to do that. I since have learnt that if you enable auto start, then it can't have an auto stop. Don't quite understand that, because it's allowing me to click both now, so I might be totally wrong. But anyway, I have to say I don't think I would ever have enable auto stop, because if I'm streaming, it may be I want to pause at some point. Now if I stop the stream, YouTube might think that I've finished. So that's why I don't go for enable auto stop. I might have misunderstood that, but anyway, it's worked for me. Enable auto start, but don't enable auto stop. So that's the setting that I've been using, and it seems to have worked. Okay, so yeah, that was where I've just said, actually I've since discovered it doesn't sound as if it is actually possible. Right, remember, what we're doing this for is because Zoom wants these three bits of information for the stream. And you can get this all from the page that we're on now. So number 1, it wanted the stream URL. Well, that's there, stream URL. Number 2, it wanted the stream key, and that's here, stream key. And number 3, it wanted the live streaming URL. This is the one that I had real difficulty working out where it was, and I eventually discovered you have to click up there, thanks to somebody's really good video telling me how to do this. I'll take you through that slowly now then. So you're going to copy each bit of information in turn and put it into the configuration. So here we've got an example of number 1. Copying the stream URL. Remember that was down there, stream URL. You first of all copy that and then paste it into there. Number 2, you need the stream key, and that's here, and that is always, can you see it's got that I with the cross through it? That's never shown. That's really, really important. You don't want to give anybody that. So the stream key is there, and again you press copy and you put it into the stream key there. This was the one which caught me out. Where do you get the URL? Where do you get the one where they're actually going to see it eventually? Well, it's up here. Can you see that little forward arrow there, share? So you click on share, you open that, and then you get the live streaming page URL. Okay, so you've clicked on it, and there it is. So that's the URL where anybody wanting to watch this live stream, they would go there. All right, so I'll go back over that again. These are quite straightforward. You've got the words for that. This is the one that I had difficulty with, so click on there and it opens up there, and you can copy it there. Okay, so we're going to press copy. There it is, copy, and then you're going to put it there. So now you've got all of your 3 bits of information which you need, or which the Zoom needs in order to start the stream. Having done that, you click save. So the information has now been saved into your meeting and it's ready to use. I said earlier on that there was another way you could set it up. Do you remember that when this opens up you have this whirring bit here? Stream setup help. Well, if you click on there, you get this nice little picture here, and straight away you've got the stream key that you need, and it says you may also need, and for Zoom you definitely do need it, the stream URL. But notice they are in a different order in which you have to enter it onto your Zoom. So that's the first bit of information you've got to enter, is the stream URL. The second bit of information is the stream key. But you still need the YouTube URL, and we remember where that was. By the way, yeah, so there you are, number 1. Number 2 have gone in there. Have I done that right? So number 1 was the stream URL. Yeah, that's right, that goes in there. And number 2, good, stream key. Okay. But you need to go back to Studio for this live streaming URL. I've made quite a big thing about this, so by now it should be clear. You go up there to the top right. So we're going to share. Then you get that information which you're going to copy and then put that in finally. Paste it into the configuration. So now you've got all of the information which is needed, and then if you go to your YouTube address, there's the unlisted stream waiting for you. And this is why, as I said, I think it's quite important to have the thumbnail there, because people can see, oh, this is what it's going to be about. I've called this Quelle Coïncidence because afterwards I couldn't I found that really quite incredible that I just got this picture of the cat, but look, it says ready to go on the back there, so I thought it's quite a coincidence. So it's telling me there, scheduled for 7th of May 2020. So if I was that keen, I could just sit there and wait until the live stream starts. It says it's going to start in 5 hours' time. By the way, while I'm here, you can see on the right hand side you've got chat there so that people can be chatting. You can enable that, disable it, and when it's played back you can have that enabled or disabled. You've started your meeting. and you want to start the live stream, so you go to the bottom and you click on the ellipsis, 3 dots, and there you have the option of going to live on custom live streaming service. There it is, close up. So you would click on there, then you get a message from Zoom saying it's all happening. It doesn't take very long, a few seconds. And at the top left it says live on custom live streaming service. Here is the warning that although it says it's live, so it is streaming, it's ready, it's live, it won't necessarily have actually started yet. It only appears on YouTube if the YouTube stream itself is live. So this is live, but is the YouTube stream live? And if you haven't clicked on the auto start, then you're going to have to do it yourself. So I think it is that if the auto start is enabled, the stream will just start on YouTube. I'm pretty sure that happened. But the very first time I did this, I clearly hadn't done the auto start, and therefore I had to go into the studio and I had to start it manually. So this is, if it's set to start manually, this is what you have to do. You've clicked on the live streaming service, and then you manually go to the studio, and because you've clicked the stream's coming through here. They think, oh yeah, we can see something's on its way. You can see how technical I am here. Something's coming, but do we now need to make it go to the YouTube? So looks like you're ready. Click here to start streaming, and then you would click go live, and it's at that point that it will start. And you can see I'm using a different example here. We've got a different picture, but that's what happens. That it'll launch the YouTube window, and it waits for the feed. So when you want to stop, you're the host, you go back to your little 3 dots, you click on there, and the option was stop live stream. So you would click stop live stream. You also have to go back to the YouTube studio and deliberately click end stream. So here you can see it's there, it's live. But then you end the stream. Sorry, I've just thought about that. I've just seen this. So it says it's live, but it says the live stream is offline because you're not giving it a feed. So that would have it won't be recording anything. So now you click end stream. And just to say, it doesn't always seem to stop immediately. It waits for the lag. This is another test I did, so you've got another picture. It's not very consistent here. But it tells you then that the stream has finished. Right. At that point, what are you going to do? You might want to edit it. You might want to say, well, let's put a version of this without the bit that was at the beginning or the bit that was at the end. It could be that you just leave it as it is, and I made it unlisted. I could then make it public and everyone can see it. Anyway, if you want to edit it at the end, you come here back to the studio. You've ended the stream, so I'm just going through that again. You end the stream, there we go, and they say, are you sure? Yes, I want to end it. The stream is finished. So here we are. If we now want to edit it, we will click on edit, and then you get this screen. There is another version of editor which is much more complex, which I'll show you at the end. I haven't quite understood at what point you get that, but anyway, this is the first thing, is that you want to trim it probably. You don't want it to be as long as it is. There might be something at the beginning you want to get rid of. So, first of all, it prepares. It's getting it all ready for you to be able to edit it. And then you can decide, yeah, I want to trim it. So you would click on trim, and then rather stupid picture of me there, but anyway, then you can play. There's this thing. That's how far it's got. You play, and at the point at which you think, well, actually, for that first 30 seconds, I don't want that bit in there, I would click split, and you can see there that that's come up with a split. You then drag the end of the bar to where the split was. So going back, can you see this this end here, you just drag it up to the bit at which you wanted to end it. Okay, so, and that's how it's done. When you've dragged it, it comes up to there. It may be that actually you want to be a bit more fine-tuned. It's not quite there. So go over here to where you've got the magnification, and you can drag that along like that. So now it's increased, which means that you can fine-tune just how far you drag it. So that's a really helpful thing to do. That's been increased. So now you've increased it, which means you can fine-tune it. So then imagine, all right, this is how I want it. Pretty sure. First of all, you would click preview. Oops, preview. And then you save as new. You have not got an option of saving it. The live stream will just stay as it is. You can delete it, but you can't redo it. You've got to do a save as. So save as new. And then you can decide on your title, you can decide on your settings. So at this point, having had it as unlisted, it may well be that we're going to go public now, fine about everybody seeing it. And then the video is saved as new, and you can then click to go to the video. If you don't click to the video, if you just click away, I then find that if you click anywhere else, it says, shall we discard the changes? And that really confused me, and a couple of times I just kept on saving as new. But believe me that because it said on the previous one the video has been saved as new, go to the video, that's fine. So now whatever you click, you can just say OK. So now, where's your video? Your video is now with your other uploads as opposed to live. It's no longer live, it's with your uploads. And you're just going to edit your details as you would usually. Just going through that. What do I do? Give it a title. The thumbnail I'd already set before, and so normally I'd just keep it like that, or you have got an option now to change the thumbnail if you want to change it. Then scroll down and make sure that you've checked that it's not made for kids. That means that it can be saved into a playlist. Then I thoroughly recommend that you go for more options there. That's really important to get the more options. What sort of things can you do? One thing is to go to the comments and ratings. My choice on that one is to disable comments. It's up to you what you want, but I want people just to tell me personally if they don't like it. You could also decide whether or not you want viewers to view the ratings for the video. Again, I'm happy not to have that there. Additional options, I allow embedding normally so that people can put it into their websites if they want to. We'd always come back to the YouTube anyway. I will uncheck the publish to subscriptions feed when it's something where I'm just trying things out. I've been caught at that on that before, where I've been testing and suddenly find that 6 people are watching me while I'm just experimenting. So that's an important thing to do. Okay. Important then that having done all of that, you save it. So the changes are saved. If you want to do any more editing, you could click on here, and this is where you get this much fancier screen for editing. So I've already done the trim, but there are lots of other things that you can do on here. And I've noticed also this really useful thing about adding a blur. If, for example, you had details of passwords, or if you had people's faces, you'd be able to add a blur there. Just a final message about settings. When you're doing live stream, I definitely recommend that you allow having moderators, so that when people are watching on the live stream and they're chatting, you've got people there making them feel welcome, and also checking for any unwelcome comments. That's the end.